For once, the startup window has something to do with the art we are creating today. Hello, my beasts and ghoulies. I have no idea if that's going to be the intro now. Is it going to be? I don't know. Apologies are in order. Massive apologies are in order because I haven't streamed in a week. Hi, Dargoris. Been a moment. But to talk about why I was gone is because I was away visiting family for the weekend, and we only stayed like 3 days. It took like half a Friday to get there. We spent Saturday and just decided to spend the night again, and then left Sunday morning and didn't get back until like afternoon. And by the time we got back, I was like, oh, I need to get some things ready. My brother was also visiting. So Monday felt like a Sunday, and I was also so beat from traveling. It felt like the entire weekend we were just in the car. And the reason that today's stream is going to be a little bit simpler, hopefully, is because I might be coming down with something. I don't know what it is, but last night I did not sleep well at all. So, cheers to the coffee. I'm gonna need every last sip of this stuff. Thought something happened to you. Glad you're okay. Yeah, no, just traveling, visiting family. Oh, you got a new notebook. Yay, that's always fun. Anyway, today, finally, not ponies. It's going to be some fan art for the amazing and beautiful and made by the ever so talented, I can't remember his name, Over the Garden Wall. The best holiday series you could ever watch for both Halloween and Thanksgiving. Now, I should... Oh, I need to put in chat. Hang on. Put in chat. Today's fan art. Over the garden wall. Spoilers. Oh, okay. Spoilers plus singing. Because I will be singing the songs. Okay, no content warning today because this series came out. Pin. Manually. Okay. This series came out on Cartoon Network. So there shouldn't be any trigger warnings, in air quotes, for the faint of heart. I mean, unless you're like 5 and the beast might be a little scary. Same with the woodsman. He might be a little scary if you're like 5 or something. Anyway. Also breaking... Not only are we breaking the workflow by not drawing ponies today, we're also breaking the flow by doing some vertical art instead of horizontal. I still want to draw these other two pieces eventually. I just think today it would be a little bit easier to just do this one because it's going to be more line art heavy. And I think I can do line art today. Okay, we're gonna do that one. And revoice. That might be a bit too long. We'll see. Okay, copy, paste. Come on. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this caption. The art was going to be a little bit different, but I came up with a better pose. Hello? Did I not? No, I did. Oh, there it is. Jeez. All the way over there. How small should I make the woodsman? I think that's good, because then there's the Edelwood trees that are towering above him. Do I have a reference photo for the Edelwood trees? I know I have a reference GIF. Do I have a reference for the Edelwood trees? Un momento. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Right here. Okay, what was the reference for one of them? And that's going to be quite spooky. If you haven't seen Over the Garden Wall, you are genuinely doing yourself a disservice by not watching it. If that's your vibe. If it's not your vibe, then by all means, avoid. But it is very cute. It is also really funny. I was genuinely surprised first watching it just how funny it is. And, God, the casting is mwah, top tier. Elijah Wood voices the main character. Okay, what I'm gonna do... Okay, I'm gonna save this, and then open it in the reference, just so I can see without having to flip back and forth so often. I'm a genius. We never see him without his hat on, so I'm gonna assume I have to draw him with his hat on. Okay. Hats. Oh my god. Hats. The bane of my existence. Oh, I forgot to thank the, thank you, Talia Dangerbuff, for following off stream yesterday. I forgot to thank the offline followers. Follower. We are now at lucky number 13. Woo! It's funny, I put singing in the warnings for this stream, but I don't actually remember a whole lot of the lyrics. I mean, I do know the songs. Like, if they started playing, I'd be like, oh yeah, let's sing along. But I don't actually, like, by myself, remember the lyrics all that well. Quotes? Oh yeah, I can quote Over the Garden Wall pretty well. Oh, the hat is a little... Since his head is tilted, so the hat needs to be... There we go. I don't want the hat to be too tall, because I still want the beast to be seen in the background. But I could just make the beast taller. Yeah. As soon as I figure out how the hat's gonna work, I think I can speedrun the rest of this drawing, because hats, props, hell nah. There's a reason why almost none of my Sonas wore hats. Well, there was one time I was wearing a hood, but holy. On the Twitter I posted, like, 4 of my last drawings. I started doing a new art style, and I love how the drawings turned out. Well, congratulations on finding a new art style. That's always fun. And my advice as a senior, air quote, senior artist is never get too attached to an art style. I mean, be proud of your work, but if your art style eventually changes, or if you want to try something new, don't be afraid to experiment. Okay, this hat. What are we doing? What are we doing, hat? How does it feel to breathe when you're dead? How the gentle wind beckons through the leaves as autumn colors fall, dancing in a swirl of golden memories, the loveliest lies of all. Hey Waffles, how you doing, man? Okay, yes, I remember you said, what you said about Amsterdam. And don't worry, I don't plan on traveling to Europe anytime soon. I couldn't even afford to travel to Europe anytime soon. If dreams can't come true, then why not pretend? How the gentle wind beckons through the leaves as autumn colors fall, dancing in a swirl of golden memories, the loveliest lies of all. Anyone who can whistle in chat, you know what to do. Take it, whistlers. I went to Amsterdam. It was great fun. Never go there. Yeah. That's me with Seattle. It's great fun visiting. Never live there. You know? Or only go to Seattle if you know someone who already lives there, so you can just stay at their place. Or, like, just stay in the area. There's a lot of people are like, oh, wow, you live in Washington, so you go to Seattle all the time, right? Hell no. Hell no. First of all, it's like a 3-hour drive from where I live. One. Second of all, traffic is terrible. Everything is so heckin' expensive over there. And the people. There's just way too many people. Way too many. And they're all weird. But not in like the fun and endearing type of weird. Seattleites are the weird that's like, what do they put in the water here? Oh yeah, chlorine. That's why y'all acting like that. Something on Twitter. Oh, I don't have a Twitter. Sorry. But if you, I said Tumblr. I have a Tumblr at JustRuneLol. Not Twitter. I had a Twitter like eons ago, but it just got so bad there, and I just never used it. It was just a cesspool of mental illness. And trust me, I don't need anyone else's help to be mentally ill. I can do that just fine on my own. Okay? I'm talented like that. So, yeah, not on Twitter, but on Tumblr. YouTube, you can make posts, although I don't suggest it because YouTube has been doing AI scrubbing without consent of the original creators. So, don't do that. And DeviantArt for sure. This rim is pissing me off, and I think it's because it's not circular enough. Hang on. There's like 3 things in Seattle that I highly suggest seeing. Hang on, I think my cat wants in. BRB. So, Tumblr? Yeah, Tumblr. It's linked in my About page on Twitch. You can tag me in that. Or mentions. Hey, you said you wanted in. Come on in. Alright, yeah, my cat wanted in. He hockey. Come here, Hawk. 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 You wanna say hi to chat? Here. Purr into the mic. She immediately stopped purring when I held her over the mic. Come on. She doesn't like being held in this angle, I guess. Okay, I'm sorry. She's usually a little motorcycle when purring, but she doesn't like being held when purring. She's very particular. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, there's like 3 things in Seattle that I highly suggest everyone sees. And that is, the aquarium, Woodland Park Zoo, and the beach. Like, the sound. Puget Sound. That's like the only 3 things I genuinely would say, hey, I'm going to Seattle for the weekend, what should I see? Okay, the aquarium, Woodland Park Zoo, and the water. We have 6-scale sharks there, and sometimes orcas. So that's cool. How to tag someone on Tumblr? I think you just say @ username in the description, in like the description, I'm not sure exactly how Tumblr works. I'm kind of new to it. Alright. Time you were in Amsterdam, you could count approximately 2 people on bicycles, swear that random people on the street were being in the way. Oh my god. I genuinely believe cyclists are more insufferable than Volkswagen drivers or GMC. Yeah, they're just as insufferable. If you chat, I think my messages are open. They might be closed because I think I might have closed messages because I was just getting nothing but bots. I think if you just put my username in the description, it should automatically notify me that I was mentioned. If not, we'll figure something out. I'm just gonna say that's good enough for the hat because we need to move on. You know, without his hat, the woodsman kind of looks like Elmer Fudd. Stay away, children! Beware the beast! I love how that's Christopher Lloyd, who voices the woodsman. Oh, you mean like Twitch chat? Yeah, you can message me on Twitch. It should be open. But it's just, you said Tumblr in your message, so I got... There's, like, one thing I like about Washington that's, like, over the mountains is that it's so beautiful. And it's so green. I mean, oh, you see the Twitch... Oh, my god, man. The dyslexia and ADHD are kicking my ass today. It's also sleep depravity. Yes, I do have my my Twitch linked and pinned on my Tumblr, so if you follow me on my Tumblr, you can also see it there. I am not currently... I don't have that window open because my poor computer. And... Hi diddly dee, Windows just ended support for Windows 10 yesterday. So that's awesome. I will not be getting any security updates. Motherfucker. They're just so desperate to kill their products, aren't they? You know, I'm gonna move on from the woodsman because these Edelwood trees need my attention. And by need my attention, I mean I want to give them attention. Literally half the tourists in the city are American and generally had to contain my laughter in the middle of a cafe because these people pronounce the street and canal names. Yeah. Don't be too harsh on us. We also, in America, have a lot of street names that even the locals can't agree on how it's pronounced. Because it'll be like a French word in the middle of Alabama, or it'll be a Native American word, and like the regional pronunciation and dialect is dependent. You know, it's solely dependent on the dialect. Like, I'm doxing myself. No, I can't talk about it without doxing myself, but I live in an area where there's a lot of Native American, a lot of towns named after Native American tribes that used to live here, or at the very least, used to live here in greater numbers. No reservations, by the way. Wait, no, there's the, oh, what's it called? It has a huge casino on it. What is that casino's name? What is that town's name? Because it is native, and it has a huge casino on it that I've never been to, but it's like the biggest casino in Washington. What is its name? I'm in the stream, might as well be on pause, Waffles, because I'm gonna try and I can't remember. Oh, it's right at the tip of my tongue. Ah! Shoot. What's its name? Had the stream pause for like 2 minutes. Oh no! Okay, well, it still says excellent on my end, so. Excellent! I love drawing trees. Should the branches... Yeah, the roots should intertwine here, just to frame the image. Ooh, you better beware. Ooh, the beast is out there. Ooh. Better be wise and don't believe his lies. I love how, despite being the main villain, we do not see the the beast until like, oh god, what episode is it? With the highwayman. It says, I'm the highwayman. And we meet the horse. Oh god, what episode was that? If my sister was in chat, she'd know. We watched Over the Garden Wall like every year. We binge all 10 episodes. So okay, wait a minute. It's number 1 is The Mill. Number 2 is Pottsfield. Number 3 is Folktown Follies. Is it episode 4? Because then we get the rich family, the rich guy, the boat. That was also the betrayal. Auntie Whispers. Another boat. No, wait, that's 8. Another boat. Flashback finale. Okay, yeah, so it was like episode 4 where we finally meet the beast. And we only see him, we see him at like the end of the episode. Because the whole time we're led to believe, spoilers for Over the Garden Wall, if you haven't seen it, clear out. I genuinely think this should be enjoyed. firsthand. Now, I know I say that with everything, but for Over the Garden Wall, that's one where I am firmly 100% do not look up spoilers for this show. Watch it and then come back. It's like 10 episodes, it'll take you a day. Real fast. No issues. Now, why did that refresh? Anyway. Okay, it's really dark in his woods, so... Okay, I'm liking it, sort of. Either I need to make the... Let's just merge them down. Either I need to make the woodsman smaller so I can zoom out with the trees, or I could just put him a little lower. Yeah, there we go. Lower. The trees are framing the picture. Because if you, like, draw the formatting, it's an oval. And we need, like, there, maybe like here and here. And the trees with the hands and the branches to draw the eye back down. Background. Middle ground. Yeah, okay, I think the formatting is good. Why are you doing that? Are we in trouble? Are we in trouble? The last time, no, the time before last I streamed, the, Twitch just went beep and then refreshed the entire stream, which pissed me off. Please do not do that again. Okay, anyway. At night, when the lake is a mirror. I'm gonna erase the beast because he's not centered, and he's probably just gonna be part of the background colored in because he's just a solid black mass, really, which is spooky as all hell. I love the beast design. I like both versions. No spoilers. No, actually, I put a spoiler warning on the stream, so if you didn't want if you haven't seen Over the Garden Wall and you get spoiled, well, it's not my fault. I put a spoiler warning. So, both versions of the beast are really cool. We get the silhouette version, which is mwah. I love the mystery. His voice is bass boosted, so it's if you watch this while wearing headphones, the beast's voice will literally be in your ear. And I love that. Hello, cat. And the more monstrous version of the beast that we see in the finale. Oh, so gross. I love it. It's made of faces. Ugh. I love that he's also made of Edelwood. Okay, I'm gonna have the roots reaching out but never touching him because he's got his little... I'm gonna put this here. Circle. The lantern is also gonna be here. I just haven't drawn it because it's heckin' hard. It's gonna be here. gonna make this, just, even though this is still the sketch area, I'm gonna make this a little thicker so my mind knows to separate the foreground from the midground to the background. Midground, background. So the line art for the background should be thinner. And then it's just gray with... Okay. Yeah, I can do that in the coloring. The line art. I'm going to focus on these two trees here to accentuate their mournful faces. I'm the highwayman. I make ends meet, just like any other man. Okay, this tree should actually be thicker. Yeah. There we go. Because the trees are low. Here's the thing. The Beast's forest, the trees are either spindly, like him, or low and, thick. So I have to think of a mix of both. Ooh, and I have to put these leaves everywhere. Chat, remind me, I gotta put leaves. Strategically placed leaves. Because of lore. Better stay wise and don't believe his lies. Okay, so since it's trees, there. Thin, spindly, just like a carved pumpkin. You see the different sections of bark. Clean this up. And in the inside, it's just solid black, so we don't have to worry about it looking too weird. Because, I mean, the entirety of the series is just spooky, cozy. It's spooky, excuse me, and cozy at the same time. Which I don't know how they managed to do that. Like, there are some, like, actually, I do know how they managed to do that, because each episode progressively gets darker and less whimsical. Which is funny, because the mill feels out of place as episode 1, because it feels like it would be later in the series because of how dark it is. But it kind of introduces the concept of the unknown, introduces the woodsman, the Edelwood, Wirt and Greg's dynamic. I also thought the episode with Auntie Whispers was earlier in the series. I keep forgetting it's like near the end of the series. I don't know why I keep thinking it's earlier. Oh my dear Lord. The whole time it was the turtles that smelled so ripe. Twitch, don't be lying to me now. Don't be lying to me now. Are we still here? Hello? Sound off. Are we still live? I mean, she's totally weird. No offense to your aunt. Oh, she's not my aunt. Okay, that's so much worse. Oh, it was just my phone. Oh man, the door's locked. Well, I guess we're just stuck in here together. Help! The entire series is so quotable, and the songs are so catchy. I can't recite them word for word off the top of my head because I only really watch or engage with Over the Garden Wall in November because that's when we binge it. You know, in the intent to keep it special. Although I do listen to the instrumentals year round because I love the instrumentals, especially the piano version. Is it twisted like that? Yeah, and then with the sap. Okay. It's vaguely like a hand. Aside from the music, the humor, and the voice acting and the animation being top notch, in my opinion, I think Over the Garden Wall especially has some of the best writing I've seen in a miniseries. Not in a TV show in general, because I'm holding that spot open for well, the Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance didn't have the best writing, but the Over the Garden Wall is a masterclass of setup and payoff, and show, don't tell. So if you want to know how to properly set up things that are paid off, all paid off, everything that is set up is paid off in the end, and the ending is so satisfying. Even if you're sad that the series is over, it's so satisfying that you can't even complain. You can't even complain that the series is over because the ending was just, oh, so perfect. Also, despite it being the most perfect TV show, I genuinely don't want a sequel. If they announced they were making an Over the Garden Wall sequel, I would be very scared. For the... Not only because how are they going to up the ante, but I'd be very scared that they would try to add something or over-explain the unknown. Or I don't know. It feels like the more you try to explain over the garden wall, the more it loses its magic. And I do say that with a straight face. It is a magical series. If you haven't seen it, you are doing yourself a disservice. I probably added way too much detail. So I'm just gonna revoice it. Shorta, Linkia, there we go. Okay, these are good sketches. I had a sketch for the lantern. And I think I'm just gonna copy paste the lantern. Because props are so hard for me to draw. Copy, paste. Okay, proportionally it does need to be about there. Wait, what layer is that? That's on this layer. Never mind. I'm gonna move this over so that's centered. There we go. You know, it's funny. Despite Pottsfield, or like the Pottsfield episode being my absolute favorite because I love the pumpkin skeletons, for some reason, all of my fan art ideas were for and about the woodsman. I don't know, it's just something about his story and, you know, him being the lantern bearer was so powerful to me, and why he took up the duty, the mantle as the beast's lantern bearer. It was very well done. Also, the Beast is just such a good villain. Oh my god. He's literally the devil. I know they don't call him that because Cartoon Network, but he is quite literally the devil. I love how good the writing is. Oh. Ooh. Okay, yeah, hold up. Oh. Oh. Excuse me. I hate fighting a stomachache all night. Then again, I don't know of a single person that would enjoy being kept awake all night but with a stomachache that you can't tell if it's because you haven't eaten or you've got a stomach flu or if it's anxiety. I love not being able to tell what the hell my emotions are. I just love it. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna separate the lantern just a little bit so we can see more of the woodsman. And I'm gonna broaden him out because he's a very broad-shouldered man. Trying to make sure everything is still centered. Okay, it looks like he's pretty good. There we go. There's that. I'm gonna finish up the majority of these Edelwoods before we move on to the official line art, where I actually give a toss about what this eventually looks like. There we go. And in the background... Okay, here's the thing. What posture should the beast be in? Because in the other two art pieces that I have planned, he's hunched over. Oh, major spoilers for the woodsman's character art in this piece. But he's like lean, and I haven't quite figured out the arc or the shape of him, but I do want him like encroaching on him. So I'm wondering if here I should have him encroaching or just a silent figure in the background, you know? Like he usually is. Well, not silent, but... yeah, just like that. Trying to decipher which are his antlers and which are branches is so fun. He doesn't quite have the, you know, these. What's that one Pokemon that has the, like, crisscross arms? That's a mythic or something. He doesn't quite have that going on for his, antlers. But it is close enough. They are twisted. Just like his words. Ayo! Don't believe his lies. I can hear my sister dying in the other room. Excuse me, Rune. The beast's head is not... the beast's head is not shaped like an egg. You're right, my bad, G. He's ovular. Not ovular, that's the wrong word. It's very oval shaped. He does have structure. He does have arms. He does have a torso and whatnot. We just never really see it until the final episode. I don't think he would be looking at the woodsman. He knows. He knows. So I think you'd be looking directly... That's off-center. At the viewer. Is that at the... Is that direct? I think so. Damn, that's spooky. Alright. Folder. Okay, we're still here. Jeez, that scared the ever-living out of me. I'm gonna turn his line art. There we go. Turn that down. And now we layer. Art pieces have layers. I may or may not color the line art. I kind of wanted this to be more line art heavy with the details in the trees, especially with the sap coming out of them. But we shall see, because you know me and colored line art. I just can't help myself. Especially if I texture the lines all the way down. Because I'm evil. Evil. Hang on. You okay? Are you dying? I don't think she can't hear me. I'll just ask her later if she was dying. I'll say, hey, were you dying? Did you die? Answer me. I think the reason why I chose the Woodsman to be the focus piece for my fan art is because he spends most of his time in the forest with the trees. And I wouldn't have to draw buildings. Because I like drawing trees, and I'll be effed if I have to draw. Anything else? Sap drips from the faces and kind of wraps around the broken edges like blood. Because spoilers! The trees are people. Which is a terrifying concept, and I absolutely love that aspect of like the horror aspect of it, because I always love the idea of like the forest being kind of a living entity in and of itself. I was a huge fan of the Ents from Lord of the Rings as a kid, if you couldn't tell. And the idea of trees or the woods, the wilderness, having a mind of its own, a will of its own, was always fascinating to me. And it's never explained, or it's never shown if these trees still feel, you know? I mean, it seems like they would, because they would, shut up. It seems like they do, because they're constantly weeping in either grief, agony, or pain. It's never explained. Probably a mix of all of the emotions. And I kind of like that it's never explained. It's the one thing that'll ruin any sort of enjoyment for a series, especially if your series is based on mystery and the unknown, is don't over-explain anything. Now, some things can be explained to the viewer just for the sake of the audience, but not everything has to be explained. In fact, it's better if you don't explain it, because then the audience gets to come up with their own ideas, which is why Over the Garden Wall is still talked about. That ending, that last episode, threw people for a loop, and they loved it. It wasn't like, oh, we gotta shock the audience. It was like, no, this was the plan all along. It was just now finally revealed to us. And there was foreshadowing from the very beginning. That's what a lot of people like about the series. The foreshadowing was set up from the first 2 seconds. Like, the first second of screen time is foreshadowing. Now, well, the way I have that's gonna be black. And that would be black. Would that be too much? Let's see. If I color it, I can add shading. There. Okay, now the other layer is gonna have thinner line art. And you know what, heck it. We can work on the woodsman. He's gonna take me a long while. I will not be following the show style, mostly because this style is really difficult for me to try to follow, and also because I have been drawing in show style for the past few drawings, for the past few pieces, so we are going to go our own way. Alright, since he's wearing clothes, I don't need to texture the line art like I do for the trees. Let's chill out. We need to separate him from the background and foreground, because he's the only person in the art piece. Whether or not he's living is still up for debate. If you want to know my theories on Over the Garden Wall, sound off, because, I mean, I'd love to talk about it. Everyone has talked about how, oh, it's actually Dante's Inferno, or stuff like that. And it has been semi-confirmed that it is a sort of reference to Dante's Inferno. And like each episode represents a ring of the unknown. There's a lot of imagery for death in the afterlife and burdens that we carry with us from life into death. And also, then there are a few characters that are named in one of the final episodes, and we see their gravestones. It's not like made obvious but it is right there. I didn't notice it the first 3 times I watched it because I was just watching the main character. I wasn't looking at the gravestone he was leaning on. I even forgot to even notice that it was a gravestone that he was leaning on. But then I saw all the screenshots and people were like, "Oh, look, it's this guy. It's Quincy Endicott." And it's like, oh, oh, so they really are dead the whole time. Oh, they're all dead. Oh, the plot thickens. Meanwhile, everyone else is like, yeah, thanks for... Welcome to the party. Look, you just showed up. I think for him, I'm going to use the pen. Because this is just getting a little too textured. Patient is the night. Okay, that's just a bend. This across his top, his midsection. Oh, that's actually not a belt. So his midsection here. I asked if you guys wanted to know my theories, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really have a whole lot of theories aside from what was already shown. These people from all different time periods are all living within this sort of... I don't want to call it purgatory, because there's no way out. The only reason Greg and Wirt found a way out is because they weren't entirely dead yet. But they could. They could have. They were almost consumed. Lost in the unknown. So then when the beast was defeated, it seemed like everything just went back to normal, but it was all happier. It was all, like, it was literally brighter. So maybe they were set free, or maybe the beast had invaded the unknown, and over the decades or whatever, had twisted it to his nefarious schemes. Because I don't think everyone there deserved to be in, air quote, hell in the unknown. I do know they all probably died at some point, but Beatrice and her family were all, like, kind of alive in the fact that they were all different ages. Now, unless they all died of starvation at a very, very young, like, at those very young ages. Or if it's one of those things where other people, like, they were sent into the unknown when they were cursed to be bluebirds. Again, sorry guys, spoilers, because I can't talk about this series. I can't do this series justice without getting into spoilers, and I did give a warning. So his legs... The thing with the woodsman, he's kind of an oval. He's just a circle. So, like, trying to figure out where things begin and where he ends is a little bit... shall we say, difficult. Because you got... torso. We don't see his neck, but we see his head. Head, midsection, leg, body, leg, also a circle, arm, also a circle. There's no, like, I add definition in arms, so that's just because I like drawing arms. So, line there. And then just simple little boots. That's got tiny feet. Okay, I'm gonna draw the axe and then draw. Actually, I'm gonna draw his axe on a different layer just so I can draw his hands without it getting too in the way. This aim downward, so yeah, we would see that angle of it. Now the handle is very thin and kind of short, but since I've, you know, he is a woodsman, his handle would technically be, I think it would be longer. Because he's not quite a lumberjack, even though he kind of is. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I work I sleep all night and I work all day. There's going to be a natural divot because that's where his hands are most of the time. Oh, and it would go back a little bit further. There we go. Patient is the night. Okay, hands. Thumbs would be pointed outward. His hands are not curled tightly over the axe. They're very loose. Like, he's barely holding on to it. It's just sitting there on his knees, basically. Alright, hang on. I'm going to clean up his sketch for that. Because y'all know me and hands. Y'all know me and hands do not get along. Am I gonna do the full 5 fingers, or I'm gonna stick with my 4-fingered art style? Well, it's gonna be my art style, so yeah, 4 fingers it is. So, my family has this weird, uh, quirk? Weird blessing, I guess, that we have never had to actually buy a TV because people would just gift it to us. And the old family blessing strikes again because my brother-in-law gifted us an LG TV that's pretty big. It's the biggest TV we've ever had. I think our TVs over the years have progressively gotten bigger. It's really funny. That hand is pretty small. Well, maybe it's proportionate. I mean, it's not the cuffs. Okay, I think they're proportionate. Anyway, so when we got the new TV and it's all hooked up and everything to test the volume and the color and whatnot, we all watched Paranorman. I absolutely love that movie. I love the story. And it's claymation, and usually claymation, I mean, a lot of people say claymation freaks them out. I don't think claymation is that scary. I can see why the stunted movement would be scary for some people, or like off-putting. But for Paranorman, the claymation is almost buttery smooth. It's very good. Now, the only ones who are like a little bit more janky are the zombies. And you know, that makes sense. They're zombies. Of course, they're gonna move a little bit more jerky. Actually, I think they were animated on 1s. I think everyone else was animated on 2s, and the zombies were animated on 1s because their movements were actually kind of smooth. Which does give them an otherworldly feel. But yeah, I love Paranorman. I kind of want to draw fan art for it. For this, for the Fallustrations. But, again, I don't know what to draw. You know, for the art. I have there's definitely this one scene that punches me in the teeth every time I watch it. And it's the scene. If you know, you know. But I'm not sure how I would draw fan art for it, you know? Same with, going back to MLP, the My Little Pony creepypasta, Something Sweet to Bite. I absolutely love that creepypasta. It is dark. It is bloody. It is graphic. I love it so much. Alright, so the buttons would be on this side of the cuff. I think it's honest. I think it's, yeah, Something Sweet to Bite is honestly the most graphic MLP pasta I've ever listened to off the top of my head. I mean, Butterflies would be a close contender, but only 2 people died in that creepypasta. In Something Sweet to Bite, a shitload of people died, and they were all in terribly painful ways to die. So, yeah, not fun. But oh my god, if you listen to it rather than reading it, the sound design that Emogak does for this, for that story is, oh, it's so good. Especially for an auditory person such as myself, it was very well done. There are some scenes where I'm like, okay, oh, that was, that was a bit much even for me. Same with, the ocean is much deeper than we thought. I absolutely love that creepypasta. Nothing to do with My Little Pony. I absolutely love it to death. I want a movie of that creepypasta, but they can make the movie. I just won't watch it because I know it's gonna make me sick. Because it has to do with a very specific ick of mine. Not a trigger. It's just an ick because it will make me gag. But then again, for all three of those stories, it's like, what would I draw? That's one. That's I think I said this before on stream, and so I apologize for repeating myself. But you know, it's been a while since I've streamed. I don't do fan art that often because I don't usually know what to draw. Now, it's very rare where I can come up with a drawing for something like immediately and be like, yes, this is what I want. This is what's going to represent the story, and this is what's going to represent a story that I love. Usually I have to like, okay, I have to pick a scene to draw or pick a character. So in there's a for Silence of the Lambs, since the movie is pretty dark and graphic, I didn't pick a scene because I know if I did, I'd have to like really up the content warning. So I just picked a line that I really liked. And I did the same thing with the thing in the sketch. I just picked a line that I really liked and drew an art piece centering around that line of dialogue. When we get to those streams, you'll see them, but... Or like, same with this one. I picked a line of dialogue, 2 lines of dialogue, actually, and a concept. This one I really do want to draw. I really do want to draw this sketch, but I'm gonna have like all the characters, like their faces, are like inside his silhouette. So that's gonna take a long time for me to sketch and, you know, get all the reference sheets in order. If he's kneeling down and it throws past his knees, okay, yeah, it would be like to here. Excuse me. Patient is the night. Where and how is leg? That's why I put the lantern there, so I didn't have to worry about drawing his legs. There is a scene in the series where he's on his knees, and I couldn't find, like, I don't have, I mean, we have it on DVD, but I didn't have, like, a way to take a screenshot. It looks like Abraham Lincoln here. I didn't have a way to, like, take a screenshot of the exact pose I wanted, so I just have to guess And that's kind of the beauty of fan art. Half the time, you're just drawing what feels right rather than what was actually shown. Like, I saw some fan art that someone else drew for Let Her In, and I was losing my mind trying to keep things as exact as possible. But what they did for their fan art, I don't remember their name, but what they did was just draw a creepy looking Fluttershy crawling through Apple Bloom's window. It's like, oh, that looks so good. It doesn't represent the story, but it represents the vibe. And I like it. I do like that. That was good. So this is what happens when you get a little bit too pedantic. Or too married to the concept of authenticity. I'm just gonna cut, since the lantern's gonna cover this, I'm just gonna connect the lines. So we don't have any stray pixels later. Okay, that's good. His... We get him a little barrel-chested, but that's okay. He's an old man. Bless him. A lot of people don't focus on the woodsman when they draw fan art for, I mean, maybe they do. I don't see a lot of fan art for Over the Garden Wall. And what I do see is mostly just the beast. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on the woodsman. The woodsman is, you know, he's a very tragic character, and I love him. His story gets me the most choked up. I'm gonna put his face momentarily on a separate layer because I think okay, he's not a schnoz. And he doesn't have facial hair, but I'm imagining he's got some jowls. Oh, so all my... That's not covered up. That's fine. I know how to draw faces, right? Frick's sake. I'm gonna give him bushy eyebrows, though, because you can't stop me. Since his eyes are black in the art, I think, given his color palette, I'll give him steel gray eyes, so it's not just solid black. I'm also gonna make his nose maybe a little bit more prominent. Oof. My tumblies was getting the rumblies that only hands can satisfy. If you get that reference, bless you. Oh my god, you were on the same part of the internet I was by back in the day. I'm gonna have a snack. Real quick. Man, how sensitive is the mic? Just a quick little snack break, guys. Don't worry. Also, don't ask what I'm eating, because, you don't want to know. I think this is turning out pretty well. Am I adding too much detail on the woodsman that you probably won't see in the end? No, you'll see it. You'll see it. I want drink. We're going to get drink. I want energy drink. I want calories. This coffee doesn't have a whole lot of calories, so cheers. I just spilled Monster all down my shirt like a fucking child. Okay, hold on. Man. And these are fresh out the wash, too. Alright, I basically had my entire wardrobe in my laundry basket because I was a lazy turd and didn't do my laundry for like 2 weeks. So now all my clothes are nice and fresh. Well, now not anymore because I just spilled my drink. Awesome. Okay, let's try this again. Much better. Okay, back to it. How separated? I think that's good. And I'll just... Oh, man. The anatomy on his face looks wrong, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. So maybe if I just... Oh, that's what it is. This eye seems to be a bit too far. There we go. Because usually the innermost corner of the eye lines up with the outermost part of the nostril. So if his nostril is out to here, that means his inner corner should be like here. Not exact, but just close enough. I'm gonna give him a honker. I think it looks weird because I don't have this erased. No, I'll erase it right now. There we go. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, he looks so sad. Be careful, children. Beware the beast. There's one line in, like, episode 4 that really sticks out to me. Where, like, the tavern keeper says a line that, he who bears the lantern is the beast. Even though when the woodsman at the end of the episode says, "Beware the beast," we see a shadowy figure, haha, say, "Woodsman, we need to talk." Then we see, oh, wait a minute, that's the beast. Oh, I thought the lantern bearer was the beast. But then if you think about it, especially with the grand reveal of the Edelwood trees being lost souls, the woodsman was a beast. He became like the devil in his service. Even though he wasn't the one feeding off of the lost souls, he was the one grinding them up and fueling the lantern. Even though it wasn't entirely his fault, he was deceived by the beast. He still made a pact. He still made that decision to serve the beast, however reluctant. So, in a way, in service of the beast, he became the beast. He who bears the lantern is the beast. You know, it wasn't ever, it's not revealed that, oh, they're one and the same. It's like, no, that's not what the story said. Trying to figure out why his anatomy looks wrong to me. That's why. His ears are in the wrong place. I was following the show style a little too closely. I think it was the tavern keeper who said, "He who bears the lantern is the beast." Even though they are two separate entities. So yeah, I love tragic characters, which is probably why the woodsman is one character that really sticks out to me. Even though I absolutely love Pottsfield, I love the little pumpkin people, I love Enoch. He's just awesome. I mean, a gif of the Pottsfield people is literally my intro. So, oh my. So I had the Nokia laying around since I do collect mobile phone. Since you do collect mobile phones, you wanted to try actually test them after getting a hassle buying a new battery. Nothing. Yay. Oh no. I thought Nokias were indestructible. But that might just be really good marketing. So I'm gonna do... I think my advice for anyone who wants to get into drawing fan art but doesn't know what to draw, i.e. me, you can pick a scene and try to recreate that or like reimagine it. You can do all those things, but also you can just pick a line of dialogue or narration that really stuck out to you or that just replays in your head. And draw something inspired by that. That's what this piece is. Originally, the sketch was the scene where the beast is like, "You've been chopping down Edelwood trees for years, and you never cared." I didn't know. He's like, he didn't know about the Edelwood trees, and the beast is like, "That's because you didn't care." So yes, he became a beast in of himself. But I also just like that line. Oof, I've said it like 3 times already. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing for Silence of the Lambs, and hopefully the same thing for The Thing. I have 2 drawing ideas that I could do for The Thing. Very simplistic because as much as I love body horror, I don't draw it all that often because it is so yucking difficult. Today's gonna be a simple drawing today. Need something easy so I can ease back into streaming. We're an hour and 47 minutes in, and I'm still working on the line art. Oh well. This stream's probably gonna be... I'm making up for the other streams that I missed. So this one's gonna be 5 hours maybe. We'll see. I wish I could play the music while drawing. I mean, I could do it, but I'm live streaming, so I can't listen to the soundtrack without the risk of a copyright strike. And I'm not so sick of dealing with that thing. That's why I just have the same song now playing in the background, because I cannot be bothered to try and fist fight the copyright system. Can't be bothered. Okay, that's a little too far. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's good. I'm definitely going to be drawing tears in his eyes. One line that I really do want to draw fan art for as well in Over the Garden Wall, but it can't... again, can't really figure out what to draw for it. It's something the Beast says to the Woodsman. Are you really... It's something along the lines of, are you ready to go back to that empty house? Because the Woodsman's daughter is missing. He thinks she's in the lantern. Long story. But if he did leave the Beast and go back to that empty house in his mind, you know, he believes he would be alone. He'd never get his daughter back. So it's like, are you really ready to go back to that empty house, Woodsman? Listen to me. I'm the only thing keeping your daughter alive. It's like, oh, don't do that. Don't hurt my baby. Don't hurt my baby, old man. He old man, but he baby girl. Oh, cool. You got the modern Nokia to work. Nice. If I could afford it, I would love to have a Nokia. Just because I hear stories. I hear stories. Legends foretelling the long-lasting battery life and indestructibility of the Nokia phone. But if I never get one, I'm fine with Samsung. They're still not the greatest, but better than Apple, that's for darn sure. Anything's better than Apple, if you ask me. Absolutely. Yep. Apple is trash. Garbage. Expensive. It's hot, expensive garbage. Which is why I'll never buy any Apple product. I don't care what people say. I don't give a darn. Now, Samsung is cool because they have products for everything. We had a Samsung TV. Well, now we got an LG now, but still, we had a Samsung TV. You can get a Samsung dishwasher. It's only a matter of time before they make a Samsung car, and that would be cool. What is my stylus doing? Okay, I know his hair isn't this long in the show, but you know. Oh my god, my heart. My heart. This poor man. Aw. Didn't you say you were running a Windows 10? Yep, I use a Windows 10. Service for the Windows 10, 8, and 7 just ended yesterday. Double thumbs up. Yahoo! I'm so chuffed. It'll be a cold day in hell before I force myself to get a Windows 11 or 12. I'll get Linux Mint before I subjugate myself to Windows 10. Microsoft, you can kiss my arse. I'm gonna make his hat a little crumply because it's old and he's been in the woods for God knows how long. And he refuses to go back to his house, so he's probably had to do a bunch of repairs on his own clothes. Or steal clothes, who knows? Who knows how he even eats? I could add a bit of... I can add some stitches here and there, but I think we've already added enough detail to this poor old man. What layer is that? What layer is this? It must be an extra. You know, okay, I'm gonna fix that. That was annoying me. There we go. And we're going to erase the overlap on the axe. Now, I hear Linux Mint isn't that hard to operate. It's said to be very beginner friendly, but I don't... That's the wrong layer. I don't understand a dang thing about computers, so Linux is going to be one of those things where if I have to get a new computer, guys, I'm gonna download Linux Mint, and you're not gonna hear from me for like a month because I'll be spending every single waking hour of that month trying to figure out how the hell I use this stupid thing. I'll be downloading service packs because I just can't handle it. So to be forced to buy a Windows 11 to make more money? Oh, absolutely. The corporate greed is burning us alive. We are literally being burned alive. Or the old scientific experiment. You put frogs in a pot and you slowly raise the temperature to the point where it's boiling. They will not hop out of the water because they've gradually gotten used to the temperature, even though they're being boiled alive and they don't even realize it. We are that pot of frogs. We are a boiling pot of frogs. To quote the very, very good and very wisely written Andor, they've been choking us so slowly we've begun not to notice. Now I said, that is one TV show that takes the cake from, Over the Garden Wall is a masterclass of setup and payoff. But when it comes to writing, I think Andor has them beat. I think Andor is some of the best writing I've seen in a TV show in a while. But I am biased towards Tron Uprising. However, I just enjoy Tron Uprising more. Name one temp company that isn't doing something malicious. There aren't many from what I know of. But not a tech company, but whoever made LibreOffice. It's basically, like Microsoft Word, Excel, Sheets, PowerPoint and whatnot, notes, drawing. Libre is open source and is completely free. Not a tech company. Not a tech company, but they are programmers. They're devs. If you count, if you count devs as part of the tech company group, then yeah. Or what's the name of the studio that made Hollow Knight? Is that Cherry Blossom? What's the name of that dev group? Because it's 3 people. Oop, the lantern. Unless you don't count them as a tech company, I can't think of a single one. Devs, on the other hand, yeah, I can name like 3 devs that are, well, not by name. I can, off the top of my head, like 3 devs that are doing the Lord's work and not being greedy and all that BS. But when it comes to like big tech companies, no idea. I wonder if I should... No, I'll use the smooth line art, because I don't think the Beast made the lantern. But he is tied to it. Somehow he is tied to the lantern. It's never explained how or why. Which I love that it isn't explained. Please, writers, I know I said this twice, but I'll say it thrice. Do not over-explain your world building. Sometimes things can just stay a mystery, and it's beautiful that way. Do not give an audience 4, give them 2 plus 2. In the wise words of some Pixar writer. I mean, it's the rule of storytelling. Show, don't tell. Whatever the audience comes up with on their own, guaranteed will be 100 times cooler. That looks so bad. There's intrigue in the unknown. Get it? Unknown? Haha. We're not told every single heckin' thing. I don't have another picture of the lantern. It's just that one. Alright. Whatever. I haven't saved this entire time. Hold on. Hold on. Everyone, pray hands. Pray hands. I have not saved this entire time. Oh my god. He who bears the land. I'm spelling all of it wrong, but I'll fix it later. Is the Beast. Why does my spacebar not work anymore? MediBang Paint, clear spell, extras. Save. Woo! Saved! We are saved! I'm gonna need a drink after that one. Hold on. Oh my god. That would have been bad. That would have been so bad. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. It looks like the lantern dips a little. Man, it's been literally almost a year since I've seen Over the Garden Wall, and I'm literally skipping on the details. It looks like the lantern like dips and then this rim curls up. Okay, so that. Down. And then shoot. Okay. There we go. Oh, it's off kilter. Ah! I'll just take this and then adjust it. There we go. There. Or, god dang, what I could do is just draw half the lantern and then copy, paste, and flip. Oh my god. Saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh! Hold on, I'm totally forgetting. You got the little pole here. Shoop! That you can use to open. There we go. And then this is a very tall hat. And it needs to actually be down a lot lower. There we go. You look like the Hat Man. You know, that's actually how you get to the unknown. You take too much Benadryl. And then you see the Hat Man. On the way. With gold dust and crushed up crystals because they were like 12 euros. I'm not even exaggerating. That seems a little excessive for a Stroopwafel. Then again, I don't know what that is, so... Okay, and then that actually... Oh, that connects to this. Nope, no, come on. Alley-oop. No, that's too much like a pumpkin. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. If you hear snorting and crunching, it's because my dog is in here and he's enjoying the leftovers of his breakfast. Okay, we're just gonna pretend that this looks good. I mean, it's the most important prop in the entire show. We can't afford to yuck it up. We can't afford. These big, thin iron waffles with syrup. I had to price them around €6 max, but they're a bit fancy and high quality, but no, double. Wow. So thin iron waffles with syrup. Oh, kind of like a... maybe. So like a waffle cone? Because that's a very thin waffle. But then we roll it up, and it hardens, and then we put ice cream in it, but... I don't know, I don't mean to, like, compare every foreign delicacy to American food, but it's my only frame of reference. The lantern can look a little jank, you know. It's been through a lot. The lantern has probably been through quite a few hands over the years, and you know, being tossed around in the woods, carried around, constantly needing to be lit. I don't know if when was the last time this thing was cleaned? We don't know. We will never know. No, that's... Nope. There we go. That's the right way. She was never really in the lantern. She beast. God, I love that line. There's so many lines from this series that I love so much. That's right, I would explain it. Like, almost a cookie-like waffles and some caramel syrup in the middle. Anyway, not important. Hey, it sounds delicious. It sounds kind of like a wafer. Or... like you had a stuffed flat waffle cone. That sounds delicious. But yeah, 12, 13 bucks for that? Hell nah. Maybe a bag of them. But they had like gold lace and crystals? What the hell? What kind of... what witch's cabin did you stop at? Did you give the Fae... did you give them your name? Because I'm pretty sure those were Fae. And I know it has a handle here somewhere, but, you know, it's not going to be very visible. I'll just add these bits. Because it'd be sitting... yeah, no, I'm not gonna draw that. Yeah, I'm gonna use the lantern to cover up the, jankiness. But does that look like a light's emanating from his grundle? Pretty sure they sell them at Starbucks, or that may be just a European thing. Come across them in my time in England. Huh. I have a vague idea of what it might be. It's just I'm not sure what the American word for that would be. I think what we would call that like a wafer cookie. If it's that thin, if it's as thin as I'm thinking, then it'd be called like a wafer cookie. Okay, does this look good, guys? Does it look, I mean, there's gonna be light emanating from the lanterns, but I don't want it to look like the light is coming out of his grundle. So, should I have kept the lantern, like, oop, that's the wrong layer. Hang on. Should I have kept the lantern down here to show some separation between the lantern and the woodsman? Or is it fine up here? Because he would want to keep it very close to him. For the sake of story, he thinks the lantern holds the soul of his daughter. And this is what the rest of the piece is going to look like. Beast, I am so sorry your visage is not being captured correctly. Personally make the wood texture on the axe a little thicker. Okay. Yeah. What? Uh-oh. Outside, I think I can hear some cats about ready to start a fight, so if you hear screaming... Yep. I mean, in the reference photo, the axe doesn't really have much texture compared to the Edelwood trees. And I'm gonna color it, so... I can have it wear and tear. Same with the axe, even though he does keep it pretty pristine condition, considering. I'm just gonna add a little bit of grains to show that it is old. Like our dear woodsman. Patient is the night. I'm gonna keep the line art for the lantern separate because I'm gonna color it red. Okay. That's gonna be moved down here. Wait a minute. Like, what even are you? Okay, there's nothing there. Now for the other trees. Trees. I like trees. Back to the G-pen. Oh my god, these faces are gonna be so grotesque. Went through the mist by the milk light of moon. All that was lost is revealed. our long bygone burdens, mere echoes of the spring. But where have we come, and where shall we end? If dreams can't come true, then why not pretend? How the gentle wind beckons through the leaves as autumn colors fall, dancing in a swirl of golden memories, the loveliest lights of all. Whistle solo. Dancing in a swirl of golden memory, the loveliest light of all. Patient is the night. Perfectionism is the thief of joy. I know they say comparison is the thief of joy, but they have never suffered from perfectionism. Have they? I don't want to jinx it or anything, but I finally wrote a video script for the first time in 2 months, feels like. So maybe that'll be a thing. Again, don't want to jinx it. Damn. Man, when I go crazy on the details, man, I go ham. Now, the reason why I'm not going, super uber detailed near the top, like here, is because that's gonna be cast in shadow. so we're not really going to see it. But here, on the other hand, that's probably going to be full focus. Well, no, I said they weren't going to be touching Usman, but technically they aren't, so it counts. It counts because I say so. We gotta, like, frame the piece somehow. Aside from the woodsman, whose character arc, or whose story is the most, interesting to me, like, the most gripping and the most heartfelt to me, one of my favorite characters has probably got to be Wirt. Because his character arc from episode 1 to the last episode is, it's so good. I love it when a show's protagonist actually grows and changes over the course of the series instead of just being either A, always good, or B, just bad at just a terrible, not like terrible person, but like just bad at being the protagonist until they lock in. Because Wirt, while is kind of a wuss and a pushover in the beginning of the series, he does show characteristics of being brave. He just doesn't recognize it as bravery. He was just doing what he thought needed to be done. It's only when Beatrice, points it out that it's like, oh, I guess I was kind of brave. Oh well. Moving on. He just completely ignores how great he is, because there's no way he's that good. No, it wasn't that big a deal. Even though, he understood architecture, he can play clarinet. And in the end, he doesn't realize, oh, I'm actually great. No, in the end, he realizes, I need to take responsibility for my brother. We're going home. And that's literally his character arc. He doesn't, like, suddenly, oh, I was the greatest all along. I just needed to believe in myself. He was just, no. I mean, he did believe in himself, but it wasn't for this, like, I'm believing in myself. He's like, no, I need to get my brother back home. He needs to be safe. I'm the eldest. I need to protect him. And I failed at that. So he just, one thing I want to get better at is character growth, since, oh boy, it's hard to write. Having a generalized map of where and how you want the character to grow, or like where you want them to end up, and how the story helps or hinders that growth, and who helps and hinders that growth, is a very it's helped me in my writing. I don't know if I actually am a good writer, but my mommy thinks so. Okay, are we going too ham? Nope, not ham enough. Alright, here we go. Especially if you're writing a book, I think it's a little easier to map out. But if you're writing like a TV show or like a comic, it can take because there's gonna be, you have character growth versus character arcs. A character arc doesn't necessarily mean growth. Okay, they can regress as people regress as long as it serves the story. Or the unless the entire story is about the character arcs, then you can do whatever the heck you want. Okay, I do know from your perspective. Well, okay. I can preach about good writing all I want, but it's like, do I actually practice what I preach? Who knows? I haven't written for any of my stories in like the past 6 months. I've been working on the comics, so that counts. For these trees, I'm just gonna have the black colored in here, and then on top of, and then later I'll come back in and do the ink, because that's gonna be a completely different pen. One thing that I really struggle with in my writing, and it's only because I'm very particular about timing, because I'm terrible at timing, is pacing. I am. I don't want to say I'm bad at pacing, it's just I'm bad, or at least I don't know how to that's what it is. I'm not sure how to recognize when something is being too slow or too fast. That's one thing that I'm struggling with my core beliefs Gatesville series. I don't know if episodes are progressing too fast or not fast enough, because I do want to sit with the emotions. But for like for episode 1 of core beliefs entrance exam, I'm just trying to get him into the academy and show that he's struggling. And then the rest of the series can be like a slow burn mystery. But if you're gonna have an episode 1 of something, it's going to show what the audience is in for. So you gotta like proper advertising. copy this tree exactly that's in my references, but I do want to reference the tree, so we're gonna take some creative liberties. This tree looks more shocked than sorrowful. I haven't colored in the sap yet, so once I color in the sap, I think it'll look better. Is anyone getting sick of the background music yet? I mean, I can't hear it, but if any of y'all are getting a little sick or getting a little tired of it, just let me know. I'll make a note of it. This is going to be shadowed out with a bit of a glow behind it because of that. Tree details. Secret tunnel through the mountain. Man, coloring these bastards are gonna be quite the pain in the neck. Hi, Dargoris. Welcome back from the Shadow Realm. I am still lining the trees. Because that's how long it takes me to add a ridiculous amount of detail to any sort of art piece. Check it out, though. I am very proud of how these are turning out. Yeah, this is gonna be like a 4-hour live stream, probably. Still? Yeah, still. Well, okay, the first time I was still working on the sketch because I wasn't exactly sure how detailed I wanted the trees to be. But now, yeah, we are doing the official line work for the tree. For the trees. And the thing with this series is that the trees are very important to the story, so I'm adding in a lot of detail. And because I like drawing trees, I like coloring trees, so that's what most of this artwork is going to focus on. Even though the Woodsman, I am very proud of how the Woodsman turned out. Despite not being very versed in drawing old men, or just the elderly in general. Pardon. Now, I'm just gonna say that the hat is supposed to look like that. Because it's an old, beat-up hat. We're just gonna say that it's supposed to look like that. So I'm immune to criticism. It's supposed to look like that. It's part of my art style. Okay, I'm getting a little too crazy with these details. Need to thin them out a little bit. Okay, just a little bit more details in these trees, and then we can draw the beast, and then probably get on with coloring. Save! Good gracious, do not forget to save. Alright, Beast. Judgment time. Ow. The H. Shouldn't I use the... I mean, he's kinda... He's made of Adlewood, so, you know, yeah, we're gonna stick with the G pen. Yeah, I've scrolled them out. You know, that's okay. It's a school night, get your rest. the beast isn't lanky. He does have, you know, some width to him. It's just we're not gonna see that because of the shading. Just gonna cut it off there. It is really hecking hard to get any good photos of the beast. Hey, gotta go. Alright, good night. Good night, Gardoris. Get your good sleeping in. I'm gonna blur the edges of the beast just a little bit to show that he's only sort of there. I mean, he is physically there, but, you know. Air of mystery and whatnot. And because it's easy to just hide useless details when you just, oh, that one eye is better than the other. Oops. I don't know why I got the Ballad of Smokin' Joe Rude Boy going through my head. But my goodness, is it blazing. I think it's because I'm doing two creative things at once. And it is scientific. It's a scientifically proven fact. If you're doing two creative things at once, your mind doesn't allow you to actually focus on one thing or another. It just creates an endless feedback loop. Or just generated noise. Our color under these just so there's no stray pixels. pants. Boom. Boom. Boot. Boom. Boom. Up. Boom. Boom. Ah. Boom. Boom. Call me crazy. Go ahead. But does the woodsman's jacket look Civil War era to y'all? Or am I just making connections to things that ain't there? Maybe it's because it's the blue-gray cuffs with the gold buttons that makes me think of, you know, Confederate Civil War era. But I honestly, I could be wrong. It's just reminding me of that. Bo didn't like Joe using no gun, so Bo told Joe to fucking run. Gonna bring back hell, run fast, Joe, fast. Let me stay and fight. Bo said, no, gun, you've got to go. Oh, that's his close. The axe is gonna take a bit. Because I added way too much frickin' detail, so that means I gotta color it in by hand. Me being my goober self. Oh man, the lighting is gonna go hard. Okay. Oh, what the? It's just my knee bumping into the desk. I thought there was a... Oh my god. I thought there was a bug on me. Nope. Just my dunny self being goofy. Alright. His hair is also gray, but I don't want it to be the same gray as anything else. Although that is a pretty good gray. Oh my, it's 1 o'clock. Jeez. Man, I don't want to end stream, but I should really eat something. I haven't really been eating well in the past few days, which is probably why I felt so gosh dang sick last night. I mean, makes sense. I'm gonna add some gray to them. Man, you really don't realize how much you love a character until you try to draw them, and then you're like, I'm having troubles capturing the complexity of their character because I understand it a little too well, and you're like, oh, I actually really like this character. Did not realize that. It's kind of funny. Just put in a few flecks of a darker brown. Because his daughter's hair is brown. So I'm assuming his was as well. There we go. I don't want to make his eyes bloodshot, but I do want to imply he has been crying for a while, so, lightly bloodshot it is. Ah! Ah! I got hair in my eye. In my non-existent eyes. I got hair in my... Should I actually start role-playing as this version of Rune? Because, I mean, a lot of all the cool VTubers are doing the role-play. Secret details in the art piece. Secret... Oh, bless you. Bless you, puppy. Bless you. Oh, goodness. You have something up your nose. Oh. Oh, puppy. Oh. Bless you. Poor little guy. Yep. It's official. I add way too... I complain... I claim to be a minimalist, and then I proceed to add way too much gosh dang detail into every little piece, especially illustrations and comics. Holy crap. I can't stop myself. I can't stop myself from adding in all this extra stupidly complex details. That's a little too red. Hang on. There we go. That's better. That's still... Yeah, that's still the woodsman. You can tell who that is. The extra beast part of me wants to add, like, slightly frostbitten bits. Almost to make some bits of them slightly frostbitten. That would be completely insane. The devil is in the details. I'm gonna use the stipple pen for detailing this. Because I can. Oh, wait a minute. That needs to... Whoops. Hold up. There we go. Devil's in the details. Now, chat, be honest with me now. Is there a chance that I might add a little too much detail to all of my art pieces?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Pokemon just updated. I have almost 500 items over my item bag because of this stupid update. It gave me so much stuff.
Oh.
Because I'm level 49. I'm like right at the cusp of the highest level it used to be. Now it's 80 instead of 50. And it just gave me all this stuff because of it. And I'm just like, what happened?
Well, good luck trying to use all that.
I logged in, like, I don't know, a couple minutes ago. It didn't give me the things that I need. It just gave me a crap ton of other stuff.
Oh, dude, before you go.
Also, there's a new egg that gives you, XP.
New egg?
Yeah. It hatches if you walk a kilometer, and it gives, like you said, it gives you XP.
New egg.
That's all it does. I don't think it hatches anything else. But so much happened. Ooh. It's a good one. That beast looks so accurate. It looks like he's from the show.
I tried.
It looks so good.
Oh my god.
God, I can't open anything right now. I have too many items. I'm going. You be careful when you lock in a Pokemon.
Okay. Beat up a few rocket grunts.
He gave me like 100 of one thing, and I was like, I don't need that much.
I don't need it.
It did upgrade my Pokemon storage though.
Oh, nice.
So it also did upgrade my bag. I just had too much stuff, I guess.
Yestimer! Woo! Yestimer has joined the chat. Long time no see. No. Should I add the little soul? You can't even see it. Oh well. Okay, so I'm gonna use this color. For the good God, the beast is terrifying. Holy, I don't know why. That just scared the. That just gave me a chill down my spine, yo. Actually, it's just... Okay, no, it is twisting branches that we can see. Okay. Oh, yeah, you got a new job? That's awesome, man. It's good that you love it. Oh, I should... There we go. $1,500 every 2 weeks. That's pretty good for this day and age. Barely livable wage in Washington State, but yeah. I mean, technically, if you look at my job, I'm also just sitting on my butt. I'm gonna make this blue. You want blue. She doesn't want blue. Blue and yellow. No. What the? Oh. It was a clipping mask, that's why. Half the time just waiting. Yeah, my brother in the military used to work security. Well, I mean, he still is security. Half the time he's just waiting around to do something, like for something to happen. So yeah, he's literally paid to do nothing for most of the day. No. Okay, that's the background. Now for these Edelwoods, one of them's gonna be more of this get rid of that. No, keep it. Do this red color. What is your new job, if you don't mind me asking, Yesty? Ah, that's there we go. It's a factory job called corning. Oh, okay. They help make optic cable. That's kind of cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the time you're just bored out of your skull, but the fact that you're helping that process along, that's kind of cool. There. Okay, I'm gonna finish blocking in this tree, and then I'm gonna save, because I haven't done that in a minute. There. Alright, phone charger, Wi-Fi lines, not just that. Yeah, I get it. It's still cool. I mean, not everyone has to be out here like, you know, Steve Irwin. Or any junk like that. Not everybody has to... Not all of us can pursue our passions, or society would just collapse. As much of a bummer as a phrase that is. Yeah. Unless the making optic cables is your passion, then go off, King. Okay, so the Edelwoods... Okay, I'm gonna pick from this bundle. Because it needs the oil. It isn't, but it's yeah, the least stressed job, yeah. It's funny that that's the bare minimum of any job now. It's not stressful. No one's well, there's no need to be mean to each other when you're on the assembly line, because when something goes wrong, you're all gonna have to work together to fix it. Oops. No corruption. Well. Now that is very rare indeed. Since they're in the foreground, I don't color these guys. Oh, I bet. Yeah. All your old jobs had it. I'm just gonna add in a little bit of red mixed in. Even though most of this is gonna get shaded in with other stuff. I don't have a picture of the... Well, it was snowy, so... Ah! That needs to be under. There we go. Now, it doesn't matter if it's all going to be shaded in anyway. What matters is texture. Because what isn't going to be shaded in is going to be seen. And if you don't add in as much detail as you do for any of the other bits, it's going to be, oops, noticeable. Actually, where is it? Where is it? There it is. Alright, oh god, okay, how am I gonna do the lighting if everything's on a separate layer? Like I usually do. Where? There it is. Jeez. I'm getting a little too carried away. I need to render the trees. Should I use the watercolor pen or the airbrush pen? Black needs to be more reddish orange with that sprinkled in. My goodness. It's supposed to look kind of like tears. There we go. That's a good start for that one. Because I still have to, color in all the different reds and... Gotta get in there, but not too heavy on the lighting. It's still a very dark scene. But the lantern is kind of unnaturally bright. I'm not exactly sure how to texture these trees, but oh, if I use all reliable, with a bit of back and forth shading, we should be a golden. Adelaide, Adelaide, come on, join the Adelaide parade. Adelaide, Adelaide, we're going to Adelaide's house. I'm gonna have to work on that ending. Thing is, whoops, these trees are a little bit more detailed than what I'm used to working with. Because I used, when I did trees, I would just do a few strokes with the line art, not the line art, with the airbrush, and then just be on my merry way. But given the fact that these have actual faces, and you know, kind of have more to be seen, I suppose. Then again, they are going to be shaded, so... Not that one. That one. Ooh. There we go. Okay, we're getting close to... Not really the final stretch because there's still... the shading still is a bit much. And if I just pull it back a little... Not that much. this, if I just erase it there, there. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna crop the picture to like there, so that we still see the Adel Woods. Yeah, I'm just gonna crop that. No, that's the wrong. There we go. Not hue, color? No. Overlay? Okay, yeah, that's a little bit better. Oh, okay. Yep. Folks, we are at that point in the live stream where I am literally just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. We are almost to everyone's favorite part. At least my personal favorite. Alright. We're gonna do a mix of blue on the rim. And a bit of orange. No, blue should yeah. Alright, what layer is that? You. Shoot. Ooh, I got a text message. Hold up. Ah, it's just my brother. Sending memes. You can't even see that, so it doesn't even really matter. Come on. There we go. And then we put the finishing touches. Oh, hold on. Ew. Ew. What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, ooh. There. Jeez. That was almost gross. Oh man, that would have ruined my whole day if I had rendered without noticing that. My whole day. Alright, now let's put... I didn't plan on having this in the original piece, but I just think it'd be cool. Then you take the smooge. There we go. I don't know if that is where I'm going to leave it. I mean, by itself, looks pretty good. I might add in some snow. Ooh. Ooh. Hang on, do I have a filter? does pasteurization mean? I don't know if I do this. No, I don't know. Bear with me, guys. And then. What are you at? 61? No. As cool as it is to add snow, it does cover up a lot of the detail I put in. So it's just gonna have to be old fallen snow. We are almost at the 4-hour mark for no reason other than I went ham on the lighting. But I mean, look at the material. Look at how it turned up. MediBang not responding. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Whew. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Alright. There's still a few things I could go back and fix. Like, some of the lighting here is a little bit too, intense. But that's just gonna be a bunch of, what we call in the biz, futzing. And that's never fun to watch. Because it's just me staring at the piece. And, like, adjusting the opacity bit by bit. You know? So, I am going to end it there. I think that's a good enough place. I think this might be a good enough apology for not streaming in an entire week. But then again, I was the sickie. And we had, we went on a trip and then I got sick. So, I feel much better now. We'll be getting back into it. in more ways than one. And yeah, VOD will be posted hopefully tomorrow. It depends. Depends on how slow YouTube is at rendering. But I'm gonna use the bathroom because I need to use the bathroom. So we're gonna end it here and now. So thank you all so much for watching, live or after the fact. Either way, I love you. We will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.